Good morning. At least it is for me. And it's Wednesday, so it's time for a story in the time of Jesus, not always having him as a character. Time on Earth stories. Anyway, um, always glad to be here. Always enjoy. I like to say that because, I imagine that sometimes people do these things and it is their joy. And sometimes I believe that they do these things and yeah. I can't figure out which side that's on. Go away. There. Human moment. Um, but I believe that they all find moments of joy. I'll leave it there with that. Um, I was thinking about this thing of, you know, if we do not have love, we're like a clanging gong. We could have all of the gifts of everything else going on for us. If we don't have love, well, we're kind of tinny. Because love makes things flow better, especially the love of God, the unconditional, powerful, overflowing, magnificent love of God. It's unconditional. It means it doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't come with anything you have to do or be or see to get loved. You will be loved. Now, to get saved, there are steps, and we talk about those pretty well every video. But to get loved, well, God loves all of his creation. Doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter how they act, what they do, he's still going to love them. Now, that being said, there are still consequences for actions. I'm going to say that every single time because it's true. And even though we're loved and held dearly, we still can do our own thing, be our own person, have free will, and end up messing up the whole thing. But it doesn't stop the love of God. So, short, sweet, we're just going to call that one the love of God. Something like that. If you wish to get a hold of me, it's eric at starthealing.me. And you send me an email and say, hey, I wish to contact you, and I'll send you a link. And then you can book and we can talk. And that will be good. I would really enjoy that. And we'll see if we are part of your healing puzzle. Like, subscribe, share, all those fun things. This story is not very long. It'll probably be about a 10-minute story, if that. But it's very powerful. And it's not about a person, in a sense. Um, and this one does not have Jesus in it, but it happened during Jesus' time. And it happened because of one of his disciples. And so, let's get into it. This one I actually did find when I moved a big rock. Under it was a scroll, and somehow God gave me the interpretation of the scroll, and it was verified later that yes, that was correct. It's a short story. And the story started like this. It basically stated, I met one of those that walk with that man that speaks the things that makes your heart sing, makes you feel like you exist and are worth something. And that angry, vengeful God that we get told of maybe isn't so angry or vengeful. But I met him on the road, and my donkey, who had been going for a long time, had passed in an inconvenient moment, considering I was dealing with two youngins at home and one more on the way, and all of that fun stuff that you have to pay for. And this is how I was paying for it by moving stuff. I wasn't a seller. I was a transporter. And I was transporting stuff from one side of the desert to the other. My donkey had done it many times. Donkey was fine. Usually. Donkey acted a little weird in the morning when I hooked up Donkey, but Donkey seemed eager to go, and so off we went. We picked up the packages that we were to move to the other side of the desert land, and we began, and then Donkey didn't feel good at all. You could tell he was almost kneeling. I went over and I petted him and said, "You tired today, Donkey?" And Donkey looked at me like, tired, I feel weird. Plunk. Donkey died. There was no breath in Donkey. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to afford another one, how I was going to get my. I was thinking I can probably pull the small cart that I'm using. The bigger one, no way, but this one I might be able to and get it across the desert. Yes, possibly. What do I do with the donkey? He's been so good to me. I want to bury him properly. I don't have a shovel. As I was thinking all of those weird things, because you have to when you have a business and when your animal passes, which is what happens periodically, usually hopefully not on the road where you have to really figure it out and you don't carry a shovel. That's something I'm going to fix, he said to himself. And as he was saying that, one of the disciples, he didn't know which one, they didn't tell him which one, came along and said, "You have a problem, sir." And he goes, "Yes," he goes, "My donkey died. I have no shovel. I want to give him a proper burial. And then I got to figure out how to get this cart across the desert land to the other side so that I get paid so that my bills are covered and my wife can be well looked after and we can have a third child." And the disciple looked at him and said, "Well, that's easy," and walked over to the donkey and said, "Rise." And the donkey rose. Actually, he looked like he was younger than he was, and he was very, very spry and trotting around. Put him back in his harness, and he liked that, and he was ready to go. And I turned around to thank the man, and he was gone, just gone. I looked up, looked down, no dust. I don't know where he went, but I was very grateful that he came, and he said, "Rise," because I couldn't have done that. Well, maybe I could now, because that's the other part of the story. I got to delivered and I did that many times. And I was walking down and then I heard that the man had been wrongfully accused, more than likely. It happens to good men. And he had been hung on a cross, and it made me very sad because this man did carry the power of God. My donkey could tell him that. And he was going to do one of his runs, and he turned around, and there were three of the disciples of that man, and they were talking with another. They just went past. He didn't say hello. They were just going somewhere. Maybe two, maybe three. The one, the shape of a god. I mean, if you could ever see a god, that was it. Kind of glowy. Anyway, that's what it was like. I didn't think anything of it. My donkey went forward and we were going the other way, and the donkey stopped. Just stopped. It wouldn't move. So I decided he was having a stubborn moment. I don't get angry at Donkey. Donkey is special to me because, like, God gave him back to me. I don't know how long I'm going to have him, but he's still going. So if he's having a stubborn moment, he wants to stop. Well, I don't have to pick up that package for another hour-ish or so. This would have been, yeah, another click of the sun, however you look at it. A little while. Not on a super schedule kind of thing. Just has to be there before the sun sets, and I can do that easily. So he goes to his wagon and lays down. He's not, it's a little tired, I'm playing with munchkins. They all are healthy. The woman is doing well. She's taken up sewing clothes, and people really like what she does. So and he's just resting in his cart for a few minutes, waiting for Donkey to be okay to move forward. And one of those disciples comes to him and said, "Did you hear that our master rose today? He is the Messiah, and we are now in the way, walking before God. Do you wish to do so?" And he goes, "Yes, I absolutely do." He said, "God saved my donkey. One of you guys came here and prayed and said, 'Rise,' and he did. And, well, he's been working ever since. He seems a happy donkey, very healthy donkey. I don't know what happened to him, why he passed, but I guess that's God's thing." The man just chuckled and said, "Well, this is how you do it." And he went through the process, and the man accepted Christ in the way, and he was left with some parting words of just, and that the man would be back and find him. Went off to deliver his package after he picked it up. He delivered it, got back to his house. When he got back there, the man that he had been talking to was now talking with his wife. His wife had said yes. The little kids, even though they were getting less little, the one oldest one would start working with him in another year or so. And they all said yes. So it was an awesome thing, and they all felt very wonderful. That's where the story ended. Maybe there's another scroll somewhere with more of it, but that's what we had. But isn't that interesting? How God thought that even a donkey was worth saving. That a man's struggle in his way to support himself and his wife and his family was important to God. Just that small thing. Doesn't that leave you in an interesting place of going, wow, God's amazing, isn't he? That he is. So, thank you for listening. Um, and you require a blessing. And I think the blessing should be just joy, peace, abundance, answers, insights, and imagination. Whatever that brush wishes to paint that's in God's hands, according to his will and wish, according to your will and wish, this can be. Um, we come before you, Father, and it's just a short story. Who knows why it got wrapped up in a stone and got saved? But it does show. I'll get there. The unconditional love nature that you have. And you chose to, you know, help this man and save the donkey, and that made amazing things happen for the family eventually, didn't it? And let's see. Anyone wishes to know how to do that, it's very simple. You just admit you can't do it on your own, but you can. That's already proven. That you're a sinner, well, we all know that. We all have lied, we all have cheated, we all have done things, and yes, you may be arguing with me right now, but if 2 minutes from now you won't be. Something. So you have sinned, fallen short of the glory of God. The good news is God will forgive you if you ask. So you ask. Then you accept Christ's plan for salvation. You accept Christ. And you can accept that comforter that will come in and work with you and guide you and strengthen you and comfort you. It's incredible. Christ is not with you. It's that simple. Then you'll tell someone and you'll keep moving and you eventually find that family that belongs to you, the one that God says stay. and you'll learn together. If it's 100th time, well, then ask God to show you something new, something you've never seen before, some way, some angle of a scripture that leads you closer to the relationship you're having with God. We thank God for this story and for this little scroll being saved. It's an important story in some ways. It shows the unconditional love of God in the small things and in the big things. And we just say, with courage and strength and grace and mercy as we go, and say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude. Standing in awe, in honor and respect, giving all glory to Father, Spirit, Son. This is, and so this is. So you be blessed, and may you find the answers you seek, and may the path that you walk on be light. Capital L, capital I, capital G, capital H, capital T, by God. Blessings.